Welcome to the very first episode of Made in Canada, a celebration of bold ideas, local stories, and Canadian-made excellence. In this special pilot, we're spotlighting two businesses who embody creativity, resilience, and the heart of what it means to build something made in Canada. First, we head over to Montreal, where delicious without gluten is redefining gluten-free with heart, heritage, and a whole lot of flavor. Then, we travel to Nova Scotia, where Maritime Tartan Company is weaving tradition into a lifestyle brand rooted in coastal pride. Now, let's meet the makers behind the movement. Delicious Without Gluten is an allergen-friendly manufacturer of gluten-free breads and baked goods. Their mission is for their customers to love the foods they eat, feel like they're not missing out, and to promote inclusivity. Their magic ingredients are tastes and texture, so that their customers feel like they're eating breads and sweets that taste like, the real thing. Nobody would ever know it's gluten-free. Now let's meet the founder, the amazing Miriam Pearl. Hi Miriam, welcome to our show Made in Canada. I'm so excited and honored to feature your business and your story.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. And honestly, I will share why I appreciate your company and your product so much in just a bit. But let's begin with your story, because I believe that every business starts with something special where you found a need for what you're doing. So how was it for you?
So many years ago, when my kids were 5 and 6 years old, they're now 20 and 22. Or close about there. They were diagnosed with celiac disease, and so we didn't even know what that was at the time. And I had a bakery that was a peanut-free bakery because my daughter had a peanut allergy, and I quickly had to sell that business and then start all over again and figure out what does it mean to be gluten-free. And to learn a lot about celiac disease and how to take care of my kids. My son, Jake, was diagnosed at first. He was very tired and had some stomach issues. And the whole family, of course, got tested and found out that my daughter as well had celiac disease, as well as her allergies. And I found myself in a place where I had no idea that they could eat and feel wonderful again. And I was very excited to learn that just by food, we could help them and make them healthy and happy. They were, like I said, 5 and 6 years old. So, of course, they were going to birthday parties, and I didn't want them to feel excluded. Right. And so I would offer the other parents to make their cupcakes and cakes. And before you knew it, everybody was loving them and saying, like, maybe we can buy your cupcakes and cakes, and the whole group would be able to enjoy at the same time. And that gave me the idea of doing a bakery. Eventually, I found a magic secret of how to create the bread. And so the bread became our bread and butter. And bread was at the time, it was very tough and dry and stale, kind of. There wasn't really anything on the market that was very squishy and yummy. And of course, my kids were enjoying food that was, with gluten, right? And then to switch was really hard. So I was able to, by accident, figure out what made it squishy and nice, and decided to open up a line of breads. And this really changed everything for us. This was a very big moment where we realized that it wasn't just the sweets that we could do, but actually the toughest thing in gluten-free is to have something that is going to mimic real bread, right? Yeah. All want to taste those things as if, we weren't sick. And kids, especially kids and older people, I would say, they They want something that doesn't taste healthy. I want to say that in a very good way, because
Totally.
some people will say, oh, but we need to have, everything in chia seeds and flax, and it should all be very, very, very high in protein and high in all kinds of nutrients, which is great. Don't get me wrong. We love food the way it is, but the vehicle in which the food goes should really be something pleasurable. And when it's not, they will cheat. And
Yeah.
so this is something that we realized, especially with my kids. Like I could get them to eat whatever I gave them when they were 5 and 6. But when they started to become teenagers, it was a whole other story. So you see, even, people say that they want healthy, and then they go and they buy the first cinnamon bun that's available or the first donut. And I'm thinking to myself, yes, I understand, because they want to feel normal. They want to feel like everybody else. They want to have a moment in which they can feel something soft and squishy and yummy, and they miss that. So our bread really was to help with this problem and to help people feel more normal and to help them feel more included, and just really to bring something back to what celiac people were not able to have before. I know that things have changed and that there are a lot of companies now that are able to create very delicious goods. But there are lots of breads at this time that have a lot of different kinds of additives, even if they're natural, to help with this process. And we have successfully done so without any of that.
Wow.
So, so we remain stable, not just a trend. We're really trying to keep things the way they were. And from the very beginning, because it was absolutely delicious then, and it still is delicious now. And we want to keep this going and avoid having to put all these additives in. And that's really how it started and how it's going.
And I have so many takeaways here because I share the same disease and I have to be gluten free. And big kudos to you for taking it seriously when your kids were diagnosed, but also before that, to listen to the symptoms. Because I was always told, oh, you're overreacting. But what you just mentioned, how tired they feel, right? When you eat it, we always want to be included. And this is really this 10 to 20 minutes. And then you're not included in digesting it, so to speak, right? And you're so tired and you're feeling, on my end, it's always sort of like this gloomy, sort of kind of like half asleep type of feeling where you can't concentrate. Perhaps you had a sandwich at lunch, you go back to work and you're like all over the place, you don't know what it is, and then you're facing also some physical issues. So what I really love is, first and foremost, your name, the name of the company. You save me research.
It's delicious and it doesn't have gluten.
Yes. Can you pronounce it in French? Because I can't.
C'est délicieux sans gluten.
Oh, I love it. I'm learning, but I didn't dare to do so.
We actually say DWG.
Oh, DWG. Okay,
DWG.
everyone. Okay, well, that's inclusivity. And then other point that I wanted to share is that so many companies are focusing on desserts, but that you are really solving our problem on the daily basis. That's a huge takeaway. And I think this is just if somebody didn't know about your company, then they should totally try. And if you have anybody in your family, and I'm speaking to those who are watching or listening, if you have a friend or a family member, perhaps it's you who are suffering with such disease, try it. But also, if you're not suffering, try it because it's yummy. So what you did, my last takeaway here, is flipping the narrative. We not like we have to be included, but others can be included into our party because our stuff is very cute and very tasty. So thank you for giving us the power.
Absolutely.
You mentioned that you baked the goods and you pretty much solved the problem for your children when they were invited to a party. When was that moment where perhaps you've heard somebody, telling you should charge people for this. Like, this is really cool. This should become a business. When did it start? How early was it?
I started selling my cupcakes, pita bread, and muffins at the beginning
Hmm.
because of all the cakes and things that we were doing at the time.
Hmm.
But the bread was what really opened up doors for us. And so as soon as we made the bread, we had people come and taste. And once they tasted it, all the stores were like, I want some. I want some. So we knew right away, and especially even with my own kids, I mean, they were our taste testers.
Hmm. Hmm.
Once we realized how different and wonderful it was, that became something very easy to sell to stores. They didn't have that back then. But I didn't get a distributor for some time, and that kind of became an issue in stores.
My next question was whether your business is impacted with this new unjust tariff war that our US administration, the current one at least, has started. Could you
Explain.
avoid it? Could you not? Yeah.
So basically, I sell most of my goods to food service. What does that mean? If you go to a Boston Pizza across Canada, they're using our buns for vegan buns and for gluten-free buns.
Ah,
And so we sell a lot to airlines, to restaurants, to breakfast places, a lot of restaurants. And
mm-hmm,
so that's where we found our success. We did not
mm-hmm,
find that success in retail because there were a lot of by the time we became aware of all this and we were changing, it was really COVID.
mm-hmm,
We just started putting up a website to sell, but we weren't in stores that much. We were in some health food stores,
mm-hmm,
and so it wasn't grocery stores. It wasn't easy to find until people could buy online. And so now I find it more difficult to sell to retailers because the freezers are full, even though with Canadian product. There are a lot of Canadian companies making bread, and the competition is very fierce. It's a commodity in the gluten-free world.
mm-hmm.
It's no longer like new, right?
Right,
So
right.
this is after 10 years already. So we had developed, because a US company had asked us to develop
Mm-hmm,
a pretzel bite, which is a soft, squishy pretzel with little bites. And
mm-hmm,
we started to make this for a very large American company and in a private label. We had to get certifications of a GFSI, which is a food safety certification, in order for them to feel safe that we would be able to export.
mm-hmm,
And I was finished my certification in January, and we were about to start the process to go forward.
mm-hmm.
And in February, after Trump's announcement, it was actually one day after,
Wow.
we were told that unfortunately their company was no longer allowed to bring in any Canadian new goods. And so this was like a shock for us. I've been working for 6 months for the certification. I developed a new product for them. I did all this work and costing and everything. And also, I believed in the product because the product is delicious. They did taste testing and we beat the competition.
Mm-hmm,
And I was super excited. So, what we did was we decided to turn things around for ourselves. We decided, since I really was not, since bread has become a commodity uh,
mm-hmm,
here, pretzels and pretzel bites are not even in Canada. There's no Canadian company doing that. We wanted to be the first.
mm-hmm,
So we decided to create and design for retail these two items and to make them for ourselves and to go out nationally with it if it would be possible, but to start here in home and bring out something that's not a commodity and then try to
mm-hmm,
get into retailers and then therefore, expand and get our foot back into the door because all of our contacts were in food service.
mm-hmm.
So in order to move forward, I mean, we sell online, we sell to some health food stores and some grocery stores here and there, but it's not consistent. We decided that this new product that I developed for the States would now serve the Canadian market, and we are developing the packaging as we speak.
So see, there is a still silver lining, so to speak. And
Always.
as much as I talk to Canadian businesses who could pivot, it's always about how aware you are of your business structure and how fast you can pivot, and ultimately designing a structure where you're not relying on the geopolitical situation because it's so fragile at this point. We here in the US, we don't know. We wake up every morning and there's something new that's taken away from us. So um, it's horrible, but incredible. And honestly, for us like in the US, we're used to having the pretzel bites, and this is amazing. So really starting a new product and owning this niche, so to speak, and the category, it's incredible. And I really encourage Canadians to try it because we love it. We love it, especially if it's gluten free. That's incredible and amazing. I grew up in Germany, so for that reason, I was looking for this type of stuff here. But you know,
Pretzels are very German.
yeah, but there's nothing gluten free. At least when I was there, which was years ago. And
Yeah.
my next question is, what is the future? So I know you're focusing now on this new market and new product, also expanding within Canada, or perhaps working with other countries than the US. How does it look?
I don't know where the export will go to at the moment because I need to take the steps here in Canada first.
Mhm.
I'm redirecting to come back into Canada.
Mm.
I was in Canada. I am in Canada, across Canada, actually in food service, but I am not across Canada in retail. And so we are using the pretzels in order to do that, in order to bring out something that's not a commodity, something that's going to be much better and bigger. And this will be our way to expand in our own country because we still have lots. I mean, we go to the States because the States has a very large number of consumers. And there is a market for different kinds of food there is not here. Our markets are a little bit different. So yes, we think that it'll be much better if we export, but if we just bring it here and find products that can help ourselves, that's amazing. And from there, the government helps us to try to find new markets. So the idea is that if we can't go to the States, we're going to go to, whether it's to Europe or wherever we can find a foot in the door. I just think that you have to be at a different level to start exporting at that time, because your pricing has to be really super sharp. And it means you have to be mass producing a lot. So everything has a financial end to it. And so you have to take steps first. Let's look in our own garden first, and then we can expand further, and not just to rely on the US to save us from this and that.
The government is opening the trade between the provinces, right? Which is a huge deal. And of course, depending on who will be elected. But have you felt this national sort of movement to buy Canadian and to shop Canadian? Because we see here, it's covered in the media, that it's very sort of like almost like a national movement, so to speak. Did it affect you in a good way?
Absolutely. Like I said, though, that the market is pretty saturated with Canadian breads. I don't know what's with that. Some are not necessarily just made here in Quebec, but they're definitely in Canada. However, people are definitely not buying. I mean, there's a pretzel bite that came into Canada through the US. And now it's going to be difficult for them to come in. So I will definitely be able to take that market. But everybody is going to the store. Everybody is buying Canadian goods. Nobody wants to buy American goods because of what's going on. So this can impact us very well, and also allow us to review again with other chains, or retail or food service that are presently buying U.S. goods. And I'm just circling back and letting you know that bread is, gluten-free bread. There are plenty in Canada. So there is a lot already there. And so the idea is look for new items.
Mm-hmm. And you did. And yeah, and somehow that certification thing worked really well and really on time, right?
Yes. I mean, honestly, if I was creating a different kind of product for them, it might not have been the same. So it happens to work, getting really great responses. I'm selling it on my website right now, and it's selling really well, and people are loving it. I'm asking people for their feedback, and it's got a wonderful, wonderful feedback. So I'm very excited about it, and I'm hoping people will give it a try. They can go to the website and buy any of our products, have it shipped across at least Quebec and Ontario, and they give it a try. And usually there are a lot of stores that are hearing word from the clients, and they are wanting to also buy because they can now serve their clients better. So as people will get to know us better, we'll be able to be retailed in a better way.
Incredible. And so can you guide us through your products so we can show them how it looks like and what they can go and purchase on your website, which you guys, it's here running, and also in the description of this episode and any clip that we will be posting for the whole month. So please guide us. What can they expect? What is your perhaps personal favorite?
So we sell mostly bread. I would say the biggest thing that we sell is white bread, and a lot of paninis, and lots of hamburger buns. So these are things that are yummy, squishy, delicious. We have baguettes, we have bagels. There are Montreal style bagels. We have everything Montreal style bagels. We have dinner rolls that sell well. So this is the bread line, along with what we call focaccia, which is like a very thick, soft, plushy kind of pizza crust. Or what we do is we either put olive oil and spices or tomato sauce on top, and it's a beautiful pizza, like an Italian pizza. And we also have sweets, and those sweets would include lots of yummy cakes and cupcakes and cookies. So this is our line of goods. I understand that everybody has a cake or a cupcake, but this is what we specialized in before we got into the breads, and they remain delicious. And we are trying to find out what people like and produce them. We end up with all kinds of things people are asking for, donuts, and we do a lot of seasonal. When it comes to Christmas, we do, the Christmas logs, and I mean, we do a lot of Jewish holidays. It's a kosher bakery. We do Jewish holidays, we do Christian holidays, all kinds of holiday foods on seasonal basis. But this is you'll see on the website when it appears, and that's it.
And I've seen, can you subscribe to like a newsletter or updates where people can get it?
When you go to either Facebook or you go to the website, you just ask for a newsletter. There's a section where it says subscribe, and you put your email address. And we have all kinds of sales and events and things that happen. One of our most favorite is something called a try and buy. When my kids started eating gluten-free, we would buy things and throw them out. And we had so much waste. So we did what's called a try and buy, which is like a big gathering where everyone can eat whatever they want to try. They can try it at that time. If they like it, they can buy it. They didn't have to, but we do this 4 times a year. And this way, people who are new to celiac or new to gluten-free, they can actually give it a try and see whether or not they like it. And when they do, we're so excited because we know that they always do, and that they find a new place and they didn't have to buy anything because they didn't have to waste anything, right?
Right. And also, probably they stay with you, right? Because you're such a daily problem, literally a problem.
Very.
I know it personally. If you find a solution, you stay with it, especially when you enjoy the taste also.
We have a very loyal customer base. Once you try something, you're hooked because you know and that's why it was so successful with food service, because all those people who were making sandwiches and needed like a panini bread to be able to put the sandwich together, they were able to use it really easily. And so they all buy that, and then they are able to sell those sandwiches, right? It's a vehicle. So the bread really works well and is something that doesn't fall apart, and it's really delicious. So that really allowed us to sell to food service, and now people are starting to recognize us through our retail packaging.
I love it. I love it so much. And how can we support aside from going on the website and purchase if you are in the provinces that you just mentioned? But I guess if somebody is not in Ontario or not in Quebec, and what can they do? Subscribe for newsletter. Wait for the updates when you start shipping across the provinces, right?
Yes, I think though, in time when, for example, the pretzel and pretzel bites will become more national, that it will be a lot easier for us to get into stores. We are across Canada. A lot of people from Western Canada write to us to ask us if they can buy our hamburger buns that they find at Boston Pizza. And I always say to them, like, oh, we can sell you the flour mixes, we can do all that, but it takes too long to ship across the provinces. So we're hoping one day, as we get something that goes retail, that we can move it further. Because right now, I guess the issue is that because bread is a commodity, it's harder to get right through to a national distribution. So once we are able to get that through the pretzels, perhaps that will be our opening door.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes total sense as well. If you were to give me a mix where I can, I'll bake some crap anyway. It's just because I can't. That's why I appreciate you so much. So I have to visit to give it a try because I'm in the US. And so if you're not able to purchase, what I would love you guys to do is please go to social media and you support, because likes and shares and kind and wonderful comments are also a big support for entrepreneurs. So Delicious Without, it's on Instagram, on Facebook. Let's make it a big brand so then we can convince Miriam to expand. Maybe then it's already like over with whatever we're dealing with now. So on this note, also if you're in Europe, because we're here in 112 countries, support. Because what we need is to support each other, even if you don't have a chance to try out a product. Really supporting entrepreneurs, supporting businesses in Canada is the least what we can do in the US, given the situation that we created. So, right? And with your kids now fully grown, are they interested to be within the company? Are they interested to be in the food sector, or they don't know yet?
I don't know that they love doing that. When my kids were younger, I taught them a lot how to go shopping. We used to make games out of it. We would take them to restaurants and show them how to order and how to ask questions. My son would come and help me a lot at work. My daughter comes to the try and buys and does the sales there. They're very supportive of me. But they have they're now in their 20s and they have their own passions. And I love to see them grow in their own way.
Amazing. I love it. Love it so much. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you so much for joining me. This was amazing. I'm so grateful for this time because I know you're super busy. And really, running a business, it's a 24/7 job. It's not 9 to 5. And I really, really appreciate you. So we're
Thank
staying in touch, and we will be promoting this for a whole month. So everybody, please share the videos, please follow, please comment. This will, and of course, go to the website and purchase if you are in the area.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
so much.
Thank you.
Tartan Company was started back in 2019 in Halifax, Nova Scotia by Sherry Carney. A lifelong crafter, Sherry has been sewing for nearly 50 years and has made everything from stuffed toys to clothing and various accessories. She has shipped her products all over the world and has made various items for political figures and celebrities over the years. Sherry gained popularity during COVID, where she pivoted from making her regular tartan products to making cloth face masks. She did close to 26,000 of them by herself. Much of the money made from these masks went to local charities, earning Sherry the Queen's Jubilee Platinum Medal for her efforts to help others. Now they have a small store in Amherst, Nova Scotia. They sell Sherry's handmade products and are very proud to be a local retailer of East Coast lifestyle products. Now let's meet the amazing founders, Sherry and Dale Carney. Hi, Sherry and Dale. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to feature your business and your story.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you look so gorgeous. And I already see all the products that we just saw in the promo, right? The hoodie and everything and the tartans. I love it. But first, let's start with your story, because I think every small business has something special where it all began, where you recognize, maybe I should be doing that professionally. How was it for you?
We started about, 11 years ago?
Yeah.
We started doing sock monkeys, and we had a little business going with those, and it just went. We had a request from a member of parliament that we know to make a scarf in Nova Scotia tartan, which is about 8 feet long. You wanted it?
I think so, yeah.
He wanted two.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So we come to find out that he got one, and the second one went to the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. So we decided, let's start making these a little bit. So we started making some tartan scarves. They started selling, and then we found some patterns and made some other stuff, and that started going. And then we just let it go as natural as it was. And then Canada 150 come up, and we did a sock monkey for Canada 150. That became extremely popular, and we thought, well, we got something here. So we went from there. And then we got into the monkeys because she got tired of them, and after making so many. And then we were doing our tartan stuff, and we just do basic tartan stuff like mittens and pants and blankets and stuff like that. And then COVID hit. We had some orders for the Juno Awards that got canceled, and we had some fabric, and we were like, well, what do we do now? Because this is a bad thing. And we decided to start making face masks.
Right.
So we posted them online, and the media got wind of it. And did one story about it. So 3 years into COVID, she made 26,000 face masks by herself.
By yourself?
Well, I had some help from my daughter. Wasn't totally by myself, but I did all the sewing.
You did all the cutting and everything too.
Yeah.
Oh
so what we did with that is we decided, well, let's do some good with this. So we donated a lot of the money that we made from that to different charities like food banks, homeless shelters, legions,
soup kitchens.
We've helped arenas stay open. We helped just stuff like that. So we donated quite a bit of money to
all
that.
Doctors and nurses.
And we bought coffee we gave them $700 and some for the coffee and donuts, like $10 gift cards to the hospital to thank them for everything they're doing. So that's how our business started, and that's when we knew we had a real business going.
That's amazing.
It's a long story, and there's more in it, but
I actually want to dive into this more that's in it, because I know Sherry started way back before it became the big company that you are now, and now you're working also with the East Coast style. But way back, Sherry, when was this moment where somebody would tell you, oh my God, you're so talented, you should start selling this? When was the time where you thought, maybe I should take it seriously and do something?
Well, I love to sew, and I get bored quite often, so I need something to do. So I just started sewing the monkeys. This all began with the sock monkeys. And from there, when I got bored of the sock monkeys and was running out of ideas, I started to create with tartan. And there's just so much you can make.
Mm-hmm. It is absolutely, and you just Dale just mentioned that you had a shout out, and your product went to the Prime Minister. What was the feeling? Was it scary or was it rather exciting?
Well, it was a little bit scary because they really had to be perfect, and I'm very picky. But we've had music artists and other famous people order our stuff as well, and I haven't got any complaints.
Oh my! What you do is gorgeous, and we see it. And Dale, can you tell us or show us your hoodie actually? Because I love it, and that's available on your website, right?
Yes. East Coast is the local business. Started as a high school project for Alex McLean. He was in marketing. So he borrowed, I think it was $800 from his dad to buy some hoodies, designed a simple logo, put them on. That was 11 years ago. Now they're probably one of the biggest clothing like this stuff that come out of Nova Scotia. They're quite popular. They've had celebrities like Ed Sheeran wearing their products and stuff like that.
And that's what I remember because I saw it earlier. And then when we connected, actually we did connect on BlueSky. I realized we follow each other, which is great. And I want to shout out you on BlueSky because it's a new platform. It's very community driven, and we have good positivity there. So everybody who follows me, there's a lot of you, go follow this beautiful folks here because we want to support businesses, and support comes in following, in supporting, in commenting good, happy comments, and also purchasing products, which is really, really important. And before we get into the products, of course, I'm US based, so I feel terrible that currently Canadian businesses like you and others are facing this unjust tariffs by our current administration, which is horrible. And but majority of people are actually good, so give us a chance. Were you hit by the tariffs, or were you able to some type of escape it?
We haven't been hit by the tariffs. Really. All our product comes from Canada. So we
Mhm.
order everything from different suppliers. We make a lot of our stuff and our fabric and stuff, but that's not tariffed. Other product from different companies we order in is not tariffed because it's made in Canada. So
See, and here's the lesson too, right? If you do design your business where you rely on your domestic, right, suppliers, then you are not very much dependent on geopolitical situation and anything that comes in. But this big movement started, right? Made in Canada. I think the government started also running this campaign to really support Canada Made. Have you felt it? It was a lot about food. This I know, and alcohol. But did you feel this wave? Did it already start touching on?
it started. It started. We're getting a lot of requests for different items that we make, like ties and mittens and pants and blankets.
Love it.
It's a lot of stuff we're getting orders for.
It all comes with the leaf, with the maple leaf, or
Different things. We do different tartans. Like we'll do tartans of Canada, different provinces, plus the Maritimes, mostly the Maritimes. Plus we do the popular ones like Canadian maple leaf, Royal Stewart, stuff like that. Black Watch.
So, and here's my question about the products. When people go to your store where you are located right now, what can they find there as opposed to online?
Pretty much everything we have online is in our store. So if you go to our website, you'll see stuff on there. We have most of it in our store. If not, we can make it and bring it down. It's just one person that does all the sewing, which is her.
And
we do have long wait times at times.
And this makes it so special and personal. So for everybody who's watching, when you order something, this will come from Sherry and Dale. It's very personal. It's not from somebody, right?
I'll show you. For this podcast today, she made she wanted to make a tie.
Oh my God.
So she made this tie this afternoon just before we come down. So this is Canadian maple leaf.
This is amazing.
So she made that just before we come down.
So my question is, who's going to get this tie after you watch it? Is it available online though?
Oh yeah.
Oh good.
We do other ties too, and they're on there too.
And so do you ship to, let's say, US?
We ship to Canada. We ship all over Canada and the US.
Perfect. Okay, guys. So if you
we have a flat rate shipping fee too of $15.
Obviously, yeah. And now we probably will have some other stuff that changes every day. So for everybody, go on the website and start shopping.
Okay, so some of the stuff that we do, because we were talking about pants and stuff. So we do mittens. So these are fleece and they are lined with chenille.
Super soft.
Super soft. I'll show you. See?
Love
These
it.
are really, really Canadian. This is a Nova Scotia tartan mittens. These are just double fleece. And then we do stuff like shorts.
Nice.
Yeah, this is Royal Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
And some of their stuff is like blankets. So this would be a Canadian maple tartan blanket.
Mm.
And we do like, this is like this is Buffalo Check or Rob Roy. But we do aprons. I don't know if you can see them because they're really high up, but aprons.
Love it.
We do all sorts of stuff like robes. Like she hand makes her robes.
Oh my God, this is so nice.
So this is like a light cotton. We do
fancy.
the fleece also. And then we also do pajama pants.
Yay.
So she makes all these stuff. This is one of her suppliers named Scott's, which is out of Ontario. But they do cute little onesies.
Oh my God.
So these are all made in Canada too. Little jackets.
Cute.
And then they do little robes.
Oh my God. So the
All
whole
these things
family
are
can look
and they're
alike.
all available on our website. They're called Scott's Highland Service out of Ontario. And plus we also bring in wool products from Patrick King Woolen Company, which is out of Scotland.
Oh my God.
So we have
And
lots and lots to look at on our page.
Wow.
These are Harris tweed. I'll show you the inside.
Wow.
So this is real wool, merino wool. This is Harris tweed blue. The bag itself is 100% leather.
Mm-hmm.
You have a nice strap, and then there's the other kind like this.
Wow.
Again, like these are a little higher end, but they're beautiful purses.
This is beautiful. Don't tell me Sherry does it alone.
No, these are made in Scotland
Oh, good.
by they're Harris tweed, so they're higher end purses. But we carry like
Gorgeous. Wow.
yeah, so stuff like that. I mean, and then the Canadian maple leaf bag. This is a really cool one. I gotta get a picture of this from the page. But yeah, that's a Canadian maple.
Love it. Goes along with the tie.
Exactly. But we just do a bare minimum. We just do just a couple of the favorites and the local maritime tartans. There's a lot of people out there that do family tartans, which we don't do. But there's a lot of really nice designers locally here that do family tartans.
I love it. But this is, in simplicity is actually truly beautiful and everlasting, right? So beautiful, Sherry. Amazing. I don't know how you do it, but this is incredible.
I'm busy all the time.
I know. Do you have time for just to breathe, relax?
Yes,
Sometimes.
in the evening.
Okay. Late evening. Okay. All right. So I really, really want to encourage everybody to show support. As you see here, running your own business does not have any hours. It's not 9 to 5, 9 to 6. It's 24/7, 365. I cannot imagine how overwhelmed you guys are during the holidays because that's the season.
Holidays are really busy. And the summer's busy with us too.
Incredible. So let's do our best to make this summer even busier. Okay. And you put a special code for us today, right?
Yeah.
Can you guide us through?
So once you go through and you get to the checkout, it's going to ask you for a promo code. Just use Canada and it'll give you 15% off your order.
Amazing. See? So nice and so sweet, right? As they say. And I'm really grateful for your time and for you sharing your story with us here today. Now, how can we support?
Shop on our website. Be the easiest way to do it.
And now you
buy
have
and purchase from other Canadian companies too. That's a good thing.
Absolutely. Have you changed your way of purchasing products? Are you more conscious, let's say, when you go to the grocery store, or is it difficult rather to know what's made where?
Not really. It's the stores are in here really good. If it's made in Canada, they have a little Canada maple leaf next to the product and stuff like that. So we've changed quite a bit. We've went to mostly Canadian products.
And this is very recent, right?
Yeah.
Usually people were not flying flags all over and singing the anthem. This was more like the
Canadian pride is really strong now, which is really good. We like that. We love Canada. And this pride that's been coming out is just incredible. It's an incredible feeling.
Oh, we love you. We're a little jealous, I must say, but we love you. And we really believe that, whatever time it will take for us all to be very good friends again, without doubts, I hope we all, we in the US will be surviving until that moment. So, Sherry, Dale, thank you so much for joining me. It's an honor to feature your business, your story, and most importantly, you. So, everyone, go to the website, which is listed right down here, maritimetartancompany.ca. Don't put .com, okay? Be smart. Put CA, you see it here. Put the promo code Canada. And also, I want everybody right now to go on your, let's say, Instagram. If you're a user of Instagram, type in Maritime Tartan Co. on Instagram. I will be tracking those followers, okay? They better go up. And then when you are on BlueSky, go ahead, follow Maritime Tartan and ask, right? BlueSky Social, and comment something positive. What do you really love about the website or product, or share it, okay? I will be checking those comments, okay? No, I do. All right. Sherry, Dale, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this special pilot episode of Made in Canada. Today we celebrated just a few of the many businesses making bold things happen. If you believe in supporting Canadian made, share this episode, follow these brands, and help amplify their stories. Until next time, be kind, buy local, and stay curious.